Welcome to the 5th episode of Player Picks, and today we're going to discuss a young, up-and-coming star for the Western Bulldogs. It's Bailey Smith, so 410,000 as a mid-forward, so obviously you're going to pick him in the forward line if you want to pick him, but definitely a player I'm considering. Averaged 76.6 in 2019, so he kicks the ball a lot, 17 and a half kicks a game, also kicked 11 goals. That's very impressive for a first-year player, rotating through the midfield and forward, and averaged 88 in his last 5, so kind of cherry picking there, but nonetheless it's a good sign to finish the season really strong. He's an explosive midfielder, he's really strong, and he's got a really good kick on him, so almost a perfect modern day midfielder, so he adds a different dimension to that Western Bulldogs midfield. We know it's very crowded, I'll get to that after, but nonetheless, he will be a full-time midfielder eventually. It's just right now, it's probably unlikely, but we'll watch him over the preseason. Speaking of preseasons, he didn't actually have much of a preseason in 2019 because he had an Achilles injury, which are very difficult injuries to get over, but seems to be over them. And the fact that he's played 22 games, or he's proven that he can play 22 games, is that it just adds to the case to the argument to pick him. So it's a really good sign, and a lot of first-year players aren't capable of that. So the main reason why I'm considering him is because it's well documented about how incredible his work ethic is. So from what I've read, he trains twice a day, so probably has 2 ice baths a day. Really strict with diet, really disciplined. Most old players should really be like that, but it seems to be that his is a bit more extreme, which is really good. So sounds like he's the ultimate professional already, and that's really a trait that it's really important when picking a Supercoach player. So it definitely helps them with consistency and stuff like that. So there are 2 issues with this pick. The first issue is the Bulldogs midfield. It's very congested, and even I'm very big on Dunkley and McRae. Even those guys, they probably won't hit their ceiling just because of the amount of midfielders they have. And Libba's having an interrupted preseason, but he might be ready round 1. And I'm also hearing Mitch Wallace is having a really strong preseason, which is good for him and not so good for Supercoach players. So I assume Bailey Smith will have to start off the forward flank a fair bit, which will hurt his scoring. But perhaps if he gets a bit more mid-time, then which he should in his second year, then his scoring should definitely improve. And the second issue is he is a breakout pick. I'll be doing a video on this year, speaking about breakout picks, but breakout picks are very hard to pick, and generally they don't work. It's just unlikely, it's just how it is, so based on history anyway, so very hard to pick, but still can work. He definitely has the traits to be a star. It's just how soon, and we'll just have to watch him over the preseason. So I do like Bailey Smith, very promising, and at his price and the fact that he's a forward that should play a fair bit in the midfield, definitely one to consider.